Hi everyone, my name is Sukriti. I'm Assistant Beauty Editor at Femina and welcome everyone to Femina Grazia Virtual Beauty Carnival. And I'm personally very excited for the session today because I have someone with me who I follow. I am really fond of her work and what she does. And it's been after a long time that I could finally catch hold of her and get her to do this with us. So we have Namrata Soni with us. She's the most sought after celebrity makeup artist, and she has recently also launched her brand Simply Nam, which is simply amazing. So we have Namrata today, and today Namrata and I are going to talk. I have a little brief talk about beauty trends and bridal trends. Hi Namrata, welcome and thank you so much
for that amazing introduction. It's so kind of you, and thank you for having me on this platform.
Thanks, Namrata. It's lovely having you. I've been waiting, I've been waiting to do this session with you, and I'm so happy that we could finally do it. And I'm sure the audience is really going to enjoy as much as I know I will. Okay, so to start with, things have opened up. The industry is back to work. You've been quite busy. I know. It's been difficult catching hold of you. On shoot, on sets, multiple projects. So tell me something, how is it going back to work? How the industry is like now that I won't say post-COVID, it's not over yet, but
not over.
But things have opened up. How is it like?
I absolutely am very happy to get back to work. I consider myself very lucky that I got back to work in July of 2020. Of course, the conditions have changed a lot. I think some are for the good and some are okay. I would say for the good is the fact that I think people consider everybody's, health and safety important in today's world. Earlier, I don't think makeup and hair mattered. It didn't matter if we were sick. It didn't matter if we didn't. We had to be there under whatever circumstances. Today, our health and safety comes first. And I think the industry has realized that, and it really has made a massive difference. And I really love that aspect of it. Also, the fact that the number of hours of work are no longer 22 hours on set. It's now a maximum of maybe 10 hours. That means you get to have a life and you get to take care of your health, which is again amazing. It's been different in a good way. There are some very frustrating aspects to it, where we have to wear the PPE kit and the shields and the masks, because it also makes it very difficult for us to breathe and to work for long hours.
I can totally
but we have to wear it for our safety.
Yes, of course. Rightly said. So tell us, Namrata, now that, summer weddings are around the corner and, it's March already and April, we're going to see all these like nice pastel shades of summer are going to be in, especially during the weddings. So what do you think? What are bridal trends 2021? What it's going to look like, especially, the season of summer weddings is just here.
So, according to me, I actually just recently did a lookbook of bridal trends 2021, which I released online because I wanted to basically, do an amazing shoot where I could showcase the trends of 2021. So for the summer, I would say, anything that is monochromatic. So that means if you're wearing a soft pink blush, you would do a lovely softer pink eye, a pink lip. If you're doing colors like peaches and orange, you would do that literally on your eyes, lips, and your cheeks and your nails. That's a very, very summer trend that's going to catch on this for the summer brides. Eyes, of course, are still going to be in focus because of COVID, playing up the eyes. But I think tones of bronze, browns, golds are definitely going to be more in focus than the actual black, brown, smoky eye that was in trend in 2020. So that's definitely going to be in trend. Rose gold, peach gold, the golden hour. Those are colors that are really going to play up on the eyes in terms of eyeshadows
Yeah.
with a hint of like, lovely forest browns, which will enhance the eye color instead of colors like black.
Okay, nice. And how about hair? What do you think will be hair
For
trend
summer,
like?
it's definitely going to be lots and lots of flowers in the hair. It's going to be
Yeah.
beautiful, messy, very Grecian hairstyles where everything is very soft around the face.
Yes.
So whether you want to leave your hair open or even if you decide to tie it up as a bride, it's definitely going to be on the much softer side than the pulled back and tighter hairstyles that we saw in 2020.
Right, right. Have you done any bride who's wearing that mask? I was really amazed to see like few pictures with brides with the mask on, and I was like, that's another scene that we are looking at.
You know, I did do a few, and honestly, it was very frustrating because you know what happens is that, okay, some masks are really well made because they have a little bit of distance from the lip.
From your
okay,
lips,
but a lot of them were so tighty, they were just made for fashion purposes to match the outfits. So what would land up happening is that we would do the entire face and do a matte lipstick, a MATT, matte lipstick, and it would still smudge everywhere because the mask was super tight on the face.
Yeah,
so we would finish, exactly. So we would finish the work and then we would get a hysterical call to come back and fix the makeup. So I would always tell the brides, like every time I meet them now in advance, I would say, listen, have your guests tested, make sure that it's a smaller wedding, so that you can enjoy being at your wedding without a mask on.
Without a mask on. Because that's one look you're looking, that's the moment of your life and you're really looking forward to it. And it's just not the lips. I feel that it also covers half of your face.
Yes.
So,
and it leaves those lines,
Yeah.
It leaves lines in your foundation. However light you may have gone on someone's skin work, it is still going to leave like a dent and a line on it.
Yeah.
It's just so unattractive, but unfortunately, we don't have a choice.
I know. Now that we've spoken about it and, you have also like first-handedly, you've seen what happens. What do you think then? What kind of tips or some hacks that we can keep in mind, like brides can keep in mind to obviously not suffer that?
So what I would say is that definitely if you are hell-bent on wearing a mask, make sure that if your designer that you're wearing is making your mask for you, make sure that it is a mask that has a little bit of a gap between the mask and your lip. Okay, don't just wear a mask for fashion purposes because it matches your outfit. Make sure that it's well made. And number two, that it is actually safe for you and you can breathe through it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely the two things that I would tell my brides. Secondly, I would tell them that definitely wear a lipstick, but wear a completely matte lipstick. Don't wear any creamy formulations because with the mask, however loose it might be, it has a tendency of going all around your face. So for your pictures, if you do decide to remove the mask, your makeup is not intact. So I would say try and wear the mask, try and finish your pictures. That's your portrait pictures, your selfie pictures, your pictures with your family. Try and finish that as soon as your makeup is over and get that out of the way so that, after that, if you want to keep wearing your mask, it's okay because it doesn't matter what's happening underneath.
Right. And also, there was this one question which I was very curious to know from you. Now that we have masks on, now that, things obviously have changed and we are not removing our masks, we are still very scared. What are the kind of products now you would suggest to add in your makeup kit? What kind of formulation or what kind of products you think now would make more sense to have in our kits?
So I would say definitely choose mattifying matte formulations for your kit more than dewy and hydrating formulations. I mean, of course, if you suffer from dry skin, you will still have to choose a hydrating foundation, but choose something that is non-transferable, something which is sweat-proof, which is transfer resistant. And there are lots of brands that do that, in the world, which you will be able to get your hands on. Make sure that you're using formulations for your lip that are matte. Don't use anything which is too glossy. And definitely keep changing your mask every single day.
Yeah.
So if you're using a disposable mask, make sure that you change it every single day. If you're wearing a cloth mask, make sure that you change it at least twice a day. To make sure that your makeup lasts, and also you're not constantly putting the same thing back again and again on your face.
Right.
Definitely powder your face. A lot of people nowadays like that dewy, very, very glossy finish to their face. But I would say concentrate that maybe on your high cheekbones, concentrate that maybe a little bit of shimmery eyelids, but keep the rest of your skin matte, because it's not going to stay or last with the mask on.
So any particular product that?
Oh yeah, I mean you have Bobbi Brown, Smashbox, Tom Ford. All of them are doing transfer-resistant foundations available in the market today. Mattifying foundations, which really last for very long. They don't leave any marks or lines on the skin, which is great. And they last you for a good 10 to 12 hours. So, you don't have to keep on touching up your makeup. I would say start carrying a compact powder in your purse if you don't already, because it really helps in quickly touching up your makeup without having to take a sponge and go into it, if there are lines caused on the face. So I would say these brands really do some really good ones. So you have MAC, which had till date one of my favorite, cushion powder compacts, which is the Studio Fix, which is amazing. Then you have Chanel, which has some really good ones. And you have Shiseido, you have Clarins. They do some really good powder foundations, compact foundations.
Right. And what are your thoughts on skincare products that needs to go below your makeup? Anything that you should avoid in terms of formulation, like in terms of layering of them, in terms of formulation? What do you think we should have, and what do you think now we can avoid, given, too many layers under the mask might break your skin or...
Exactly. So, my experience with the disposable N95 mask has been really terrible. I actually landed up breaking out really badly in this area of my face, and it took me months and months to clear it out. Every time, even if I was wearing a new mask every day, it didn't matter. So I would say definitely ask your doctor and understand what your skin needs. Sometimes you might be better off with a cloth mask. In skincare, always use products that suit your skin type. So that means if you have dry skin, use a creamy formulation for your moisturizer or for your primer. Use either or. Don't use both if you're wearing makeup over it. So people who have dry skin normally tend to use a moisturizer, wait for 15 minutes, and then they apply another hydrating primer on their face, and then they do makeup application. And then they're wearing a mask all day, which is not allowing any oxygen to go and allow the skin to breathe. So I would say stick to either or. Either use just your moisturizer if you have dry skin, or use just your moisturizing primer on your skin, depending on what you prefer. If you have oily skin, please only opt for serum or gel-based primers, or you can even just do a silicone-based primer on your skin to make sure that your makeup lasts you the entire day. But don't do both. Okay, that's really important. If you have combination skin, it's the same thing. Again, use just one thing, either your moisturizer or your primer meant for under makeup. So I'm someone who prefers using just your own personal moisturizer that suits you best. But there are a lot of people that like to use specific skin primers that work for them under makeup. So stick to that during the summer, especially, and because you're wearing a mask.
Right. I think I'm very happy you touched upon that, because we really actually get so many questions where people are still confused whether to wear a primer with a moisturizer or skip it. Because
you can skip it. You can completely skip it, honestly. Because, nowadays the primers that are made with, they're so amazing that if you have dry skin and you're using a primer specifically for dry skin, you don't really need a moisturizer underneath. Until and unless you suffer so badly from dry skin that you need to then use maybe an essential oil on your skin.
Right.
So
Got
it's always important that if you're someone who's wearing makeup every single day, just stick to a good primer for that. At night, do your full skincare regime where you're wearing your night moisturizer, your eye cream, your serum, and everything before you go to sleep, because that is the time when your skin heals itself.
Yes.
So that is the time that your skin, you can load up the products, layer up the products, and make sure that your skin is getting the hydration, the nourishment from the right products.
Right. Yes. And one question that we get a lot in our DMs is we always talk about bridal trends, but they say that we never talk about what bridesmaids they need to do, because sometimes people say that, oh, my friend is getting married, she's going for what brides are supposed to do, the kind of makeup, but obviously I cannot wear the same makeup because it will be just the same. So what do you think one thing that bridesmaid can try this bridal season? Anything different, anything specific that they can go for, something that also makes them stand out?
I think what they can definitely do is concentrate a lot on eye makeup. Like, so if your best friend is the bride and she decides to do like a soft, golden bronze eye makeup, switch it around and use like, a golden bronze instead of a honey bronze. Be in the same palette of colors, but keep your makeup a little bit more muted down than more flashy, because it's about being present, but also blending in and allowing the bride to stand out in the big day. Make sure that your face is beautifully done, because you are definitely going to be a part of a lot of the pictures that the brides take. So concentrate on doing some beautiful eyelashes, concentrate on doing like slightly maybe heavier lashes so the eye makeup is lesser. It will really make your face stand out, and people will always look at you and you will never be forgotten.
Yeah. So I hope we got that answered and people are going to be happy about it. And one last question, which I want to know. What's happening with Simply Nam now? What next?
Oh my God, there is so much happening.
How was the experience? And, it just came out and I've seen it. It's really loved by people. So,
it was a brand that was in the making for the last 5 years. And I've been I was trying to launch it for a really long time, but waiting for the right partners to tie up with, which I finally found in Basel in Sweden. And what I wanted to do was, the reason I launched Simply Nam with my makeup and cleansing towel was because, as a makeup artist, the biggest problem I see with my clients is that they don't know how to remove their makeup.
Everyone talks about putting the makeup on. Nobody talks about how to take it off.
Exactly. And as an artist, the amount of work that I do and the amount of makeup, cotton pads and makeup removers, chemical base that I was using on a daily basis on my clients used to really, really bother me. I'm like, oh my God, and even bother myself, because my skin used to break out the minute I would use even a micellar water I would use on my skin, and my skin would get like little spots and danas everywhere because my skin is so sensitive. So I was like, there has to be a better solution. And honestly, I have been using a cleansing cloth. Like, I used to actually use a normal hot bath, like a face towel, super soft one, for many years after removing makeup to steam my face. And I had used a lot of different variations of microfiber cloths over the last, 7-8 years. So when I decided to launch my brand, I said, you know what, I need to first come up with something that people will know how to remove their makeup, look after their skin, and then get into makeup. So there's a lot coming. I'm releasing it one by one instead of releasing 20 things at the same time. I'm a small brand. I can't afford to do that. But I also want to concentrate on educating everybody who's a part of the Simply Nam family as to why I'm coming out with certain things. For me, being environmentally friendly and sustainable is really important. Like, I want to I want to make a difference in leaving, that signature in the world where I'm not polluting the world so much. We need to, all of us today, we need to take that stand. It is so important, because the world population is just growing by the years, and we are doing nothing to take care of our environment. So Simply Nam was a very big part of that. And honestly, I was so scared during the launch. I'm not lying to you. I was like, oh my God, will people understand it? What will the reaction be? But to be honest with you, we are sold out. And I'm so excited. The next batch is coming very soon. So hoping for that to hit the shelves very, very soon. And it's been a great journey. And I really hope that this is a brand that I can sustain and maintain for many years to come.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure the kind of dedication you have towards your work, I'm sure it will happen. No doubt about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Namrata. Thank you so much for doing this and taking time out for us for Femina Grazia Virtual Beauty Carnival. We really, really loved having you here and chatting with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to start watching the festival online. It's going to be so much fun. And guys, go out there and watch the festival. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Namrata. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.